What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 3 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Tyrion, not Old World Classic, Immortal Empires expanded campaign. There we go. All the constant switching between maps is making me forget about what the what map I'm currently on rather. Anyway, as we saw last time, we took on the Skullcrags, taking back the port of Elisali from well, the Skullcrags from the Greenskins in general. Elisali having been one of the settlements that got destroyed by Wagram, or at the very least left a shadow of its former self, and now it's back in, well, if not quite rightful hands, at the very least, in those of Eataine. After that, we sailed through the inner ring of Ulthuan, or the inner sea, and moved towards Evershale, where we took on the Dark Elves of the Scourge of Khaine, that had managed to previously penetrate Phoenix Gate, but with the retaking of it, and not been able to go back there. We are going to, however, move through Phoenix Gate ourselves, as a lot of threats remain here. The Beastmen, though, they're not looking so hot anymore, I suppose. Silostra Diofan is up near Tordranil, though out of curiosity, how many settlements do you have? You have just the two, so they've been sailing out of the Twisted Glade. I don't imagine they're having too good of a time against the Slaughterhorn tribe, and frankly, if Torox destroys them here, then they will only be left in Tordranil. Anyway, there's still the Scourge of Khaine and the Shrine of Khaine itself, but of course, the first thing that we have to do is book it towards Nakari. This is why we sailed all the way towards the north as quickly as we possibly could, because Chryse is down to a single settlement, A, and B, Nakari has a speed for the army defeat trait, and as you guys know, I consider those to be, generally speaking, the best defeat traits. The entire army getting bonus speed is fantastic, and the more you can stack it, the better. And while Trutch may be too far, we're not losing out on the opportunity to take on Nakari. Anyway, in terms of what we got to do this turn, I do believe we didn't do Diplo. Actually, I don't believe we did anything other than moving, so Cathik, let's do the non-aggression pact. Give us a little bit of money, but keep everybody nice and friendly. And okay, that's not much Diplo because that's all we got. Then I do believe we never leveled after attacking. So Alistar can hold on to his points, but Tyrion can hold on to his points, but his minions, that's a different story. Now let's grab Chain Lightning. We may very well need it for the fight against Nakari, though again I do intend to eventually switch the Mage of Heavens to be a Fire Mage, because if we keep some Phoenixes in Phoenix Guard, we should be able to make use of Kindle Flame and reduce enemies' capability against fire. Remove their resistances, I mean. Anyway, the Noble is up to rank 10. Ooh, giving you a point in Replenish Troops. Now, we should probably go through Esteemed Combatant. This I haven't decided on because it depends on if we keep you in Tyrion's army, which, again, the campaign movement range is really nice, but is it better than like 10% speed off of Dynamo? That's the thing, and that I'm not so sure about. Oh, I do like the logistics as well. Let's see, construction time reduction. Oh, I was hoping that would give us more. Post-battle loot out of Favored by Isha. Immunity to Psychology and Weapon Strength, and Construction Cost. Okay, so nothing super critical in this line. Either way, we're going to take one of these, and of Man's, Lizards, and High Elf affairs, I think right now we have the most ports and industry generating our money. So frankly, it probably doesn't matter over much which we pick. I'm gonna say start with... we have like 2 industry buildings. Eventually we'll have a lot more, but for now, let's go with the ports. Knowledge of Man's affairs. Alrighty, and then I guess we'll move through Esteemed Combatant and towards Retinue Trainer as well, because every army, no matter what, is going to get good use out of that, and if we get attacked, then we can always use the additional armor-piercing weapon damage. Alright, that looks good to me. We are recruiting Kedril's new army, and I do believe that's all we can do this particular turn, so we can skip on by, and see if we can get to Nakari. Alright, on turn. Am I forgetting anything? If I am, I guess it's too late. Go. Alright, while the turn is ending, Evershale is an Asuryan city within the Kingdom of Avalorn that lay near the Mirror Woods. It is a key trading city, linking the realms of Illyrian and Avalorn. The city's name comes from its endless reserves of shale rock. While this thin, layered rock does not meet the haughty architectural needs of the Asur, it is commonplace around Evershale, used in roofing, sculptures, mausoleums, and trinkets. Fair enough. Also, I can see why Avalorn was losing against Safari. Did you just move a little 3/4 or 60% stack right beside a full stack belonging to them, they're just going to destroy it. What are you doing? No, we're not joining your war against Tyrion. As soon as we have some spare influence, I'm going to probably go ahead and try to fix that relationship as well. In the same way that we've been trying to preserve Safari, and in the same way that we're, well, in a somewhat different way that we're trying to preserve Krace, i.e. by moving up there, but, well, up there we go. That ain't changing. We've committed now, so it's too late to turn back around. And let's see what else we have here. And, hello, we got a little fight. Sartosa Free Company, Ogre Bulls with Iron Fists, and Sartosa Militia. Oh, I love this little stack. I absolutely love it. Oh, this is going to be a fun fight, too. Plus, we get to use our Wood Elf units in combination with our High Elf units. I like it a lot. Destroy them all. Right? Fight the battle and gain cargo upon victory. This is not an ambush, right? Yeah, okay, we're fine. Oh, that last battle made me paranoid. Right, the Ogre Bulls are going to be something of an issue. We're going to have to focus them down with the Lothern Sea Guard because they have anti-large ammunition. The Glade Guard will have to most likely deal with the Sartosa Militia, and I do expect the War Dancers can take care of the Sartosa Free Companies. That's the plan, anyway. Melee defense at the cost of melee attack. You don't need very high melee attack against these guys since they have low melee defense in the first place. Go.
No challenge has ever defeated members of Bel Shanar's order. This one won't either.
Sure. Anyway, here we go. I'm excited for this one. The caravan fights are always fun and so unusual compared to the sort of other fights, and you gotta admit the War Dancers look pretty fantastic in the blue and red color scheme of Eataine. And are their tattoos also blue to match the color scheme? Either way, it works really well. I've been really digging this particular High Elven color scheme, and it looks like it's gonna work nicely on the Wood Elves. Let's take a look on the Eternal Guard. So all blue, but the capes are red. Yeah, it's quite nice. And of course, the Glade Guard as well, which use the green instead. Alright, looks pretty good. Now, let's see if we can pull this off. I don't think we'll actually have too much of a problem here. I do like these little pirate-themed armies and all the Sartosan units, but I think we should be able to simply out-rock, paper, scissors the enemy. And thusly, we will move our units in order for that rock, paper, scissorsing to happen. So it looks like both of the enemy Ogreish units, the Ogre Bulls with Iron Fists, are moving onto our left flank. So our anti-large Sea Helm and both units of Eternal Guard are going to move to meet them, while the units of War Dancers will instead go for mincing some enemy infantry, like so. As I said before the battle started, we have used our anti-large arrows from our Lothern Sea Guard to target the ogres, while our anti-infantry mincing War Dancers absolutely annihilate those poor Sartosan infantrymen. They have no chance here. The front line of the enemy buckles very rapidly, though the Eternal Guard are having a lot tougher a time, as it looks like we only need the one unit to hold back the Iron Fists, especially with the Sea Helm there to lead them. The ogres are falling, riddled by anti-large arrows and the spears of the Eternal Guard. Ooh, the hafts of the spears are also blue. I like that. And it looks like this unit of Sartosa Free Company breaks before the War Dancers, or rather the War Dancers move in to help out. Rather than sending the War Dancers immediately after the range units, we now switch our range fire to all target the company militias, because frankly, or Sartosa militias, they can fire whilst moving, and rather than just allowing them to back off, we're going to position the silver shielded units of Eternal Guard like this, let the enemy take a few pot shots at them while the arrows rain overhead and obliterate 2 out of the 3 units. The 4th one, we are fast enough to close with our War Dancers, who will tear it to shreds, while our 2nd unit of War Dancers has now surrounded the enemy lord and is in the process of annihilating him. Oh yeah, I love that execution animation. It's so extra, I freaking love it. I feel like you shouldn't be doing this kind of execution when you're in the midst of a formation fight. Sure, if you're fighting one guy, but like, it's a good way to get stabbed or shot while you're doing that that little flip. Either way, it's fantastic. Not so much for the enemy lord, but he will lie dead amongst the field of flowers. Alright, and with him, his army will break, and the battle is ours. Once again, absolutely gotta love the Caravan mods. We had last episode where we got that ambush battle, and now we get some Wood Elf units to play around with long before we get to the alliances and trade agreements with them. Though that reminds me, we gotta get a hero up and running as quickly as possible to get to Atheloran, to get to Cathay, to get to everybody that we are going to be trading with, as the High Elves are a very trade-focused faction. Alright, there we go. That was a decisive victory. Some very solid rock, paper, scissorsing with the Sartosa militia, or Free Company militia equivalent, being very vulnerable to missile fire. Our Glade Guard were able to destroy them. Our anti-large spears of the Eternal Guard and the Trident of the Sea Helm kept back the Ogre Bulls with Iron Fists, while our anti-large Sea Helms, or Sea Helms, many Sea Helms, Sea Guard, and dealt with them. And then, of course, the War Dancers, not spears but twin blades, absolutely tore those poor infantrymen to shreds with all of that anti-large of theirs, and even killed the enemy lord as well. So 14k and 21k damage on them, and about 10k to a piece on the Glade Guard, followed by 12 and 15 on the Lothern Sea Guard. Interesting. I guess that since these guys were able to make use of their anti-large bonuses against the ogres, they got higher damage dealt values than the Glade Guard, which I kind of wasn't expecting, but pleasantly surprised to see it. Either way, much as I'd like to heal, we always got to take the money. Alright, and... okay, it disappeared. I thought the little army that we fought appeared there suddenly. Faction destroyed. We're Herd of the Beastfather. Well done. Okay, well now if we have to support either Tyrannok or Illyrian, I gotta go with Tyrannok. Illyrian. They managed to destroy them. Huh. That means we don't have to go down here. And I like that. I like that a lot. Lothern Sea Guard. Ah, yes, our first Lothern Sea Guard recruited. The Lothern Sea Guard can fight as effectively on land as at sea, and are equally resolute when defending the walls and fields of Lothern as they are when battling on the deck of a ship. These dangerous duties require the Sea Guard to maintain a flexible armory. The vast majority are well trained in the use of spear, shield, and bow, the better to combine the finest aspects of the spear and archer regiments of other cities and realms. Indeed, it is a point of pride in Lothern that the discipline of their warriors far surpasses that of any found elsewhere in Ulthuan. I think Caledonians would beg to differ, but okay. When the armies of Ulthuan go to war, the Sea Guard play a crucial part, crewing the many warships and acting as the vanguard for the oncoming host. As their vessels hove to land, the Sea Guard disembarked to secure the beachheads that enable the rest of the army to come ashore. Scarce as the first keel brushed against the shore when the first elves have debarked, ranks swiftly thickening as more warriors arrive. Shields braced, the Sea Guard advance in tight formation through the churning foam, spears lowered, and bows ready. Research Technologies. Mission issued, we get a free golden crown of Atrazar. That's not bad. 8 ward save and armor 25, not as good as a talisman of preservation, which is 18 ward save, but still pretty solid. And a war banner is very nice to have for the High Elves with all of those hybrid missile troops. Anyway, I am going to say, Cadrill, you will leave the settlement. You will enter in camp stance and go right to the edge of Lothern. We'll pick up Vol's Anvil, because I think with these guys destroyed, we can no longer wait. Granted, there is an argument to be made. Wait. Avathir is... yeah, you know what? Go... I'd rather you occupy Nightwood than Torsathai, if we're going to commit to taking Vol's Anvil. Yeah, there's a couple of reasons not to take it. The first being that it's poorly defended right now, and it's closer to these guys, meaning they could very well declare war on us. And of course, since the AI cheats, we could very well use their ability to rank up their stuff with all the extra growth and stuff that they have. Note the tier 3s already on all the AIs, whereas the player only has the tier 2 still. Plus the several turns that they probably took to upgrade those. All of the AI have that. But anyway, since we don't get those cheats, we could very well use the AI to get this and then absorb that AI faction.
The majesty of the Phoenix
If we really wanted to. But I will think about it. Anyway, you could drill either way. And we can always... We'll see what Gilgallion does. If he takes Tor Sathai, I'm willing to let him have Volzanville. If he doesn't go after Nightwood, then we'll try to take them both. Yeah, Cadrill, though it's horrifically expensive, you need to keep recruiting. Let's get another Sea Guard with shields and max out the regular Sea Guard. Again, they cost only 120 in your army, significantly cheaper, and this will be a nice functional army for us very soon. The only thing that I have to say about this other than that, you're going to need some kind of artillery. You're going to need Eagle Claw bolt throwers in here, and most likely a couple of Gate Guard to bolster the everybody with their buffs. Plus some regular archers thrown in there, and frankly, we could use Exalted Illyrian Reavers, because they can act as both cav, light range cav, missile cav, that's the one. And, wait. I note that Exalted Gate Guard are all the way up to tier 5, so it's going to be a while. Silver Helms and Gate Guard are up there. Okay, so we'll just use some regular Silver Helms in our main stack. Shadow Warriors, Exalted Silvern Guard. We'll get to Exalted Illyrian Archers immediately. Illyrian Reaver Archers, rather. This is good. They are pretty solid in melee attack and defense stats. They have anti-large arrows, and Exalted Illyrian Reavers get Bone Crusher. Interesting. Okay, fair enough. And just to double check, you do...
I serve the Phoenix King.
Gate Guard and Illyrian Reavers... Oh! Huh, you can use Illyrian Reaver melee cav, too. I wasn't expecting that. But I'm pleasantly surprised. Yes. Okay. You can go... Wait a moment. Are Exalted Lothern Sea Guard to tier 3? Yeah, they're tier 3. I just wanted to check, because as soon as Tyrion hits rank 10, we'll get access to our first units. Actually, speaking of Tyrion, March stands, buddy. And, you can't go through the gate? Well, that's rude. Well, we gotta get to Nakari. Krace still stands as yet. For how long remains to be seen, but go. Through Phoenix Gate and towards the Shrine of Kurnus. Billionaire, you're still Billa there. Still at war. Yes, still love each other. Would you peace out with each other? How are you not at peace? What are you doing? Don't factions liking each other, shouldn't that increase their likelihood of peacing out with each other?
Protector of Ulthuan.
I would hope so. Hopefully this is not in vain. Anyway, I do believe we'll check Diplo, and then we'll go next turn once again. Safari is willing to military access. I'm going to do this, and the reason I keep doing this with Safari is to increase our relationship with them, to hopefully lead to an earlier confederation, and B, because other factions nearby like us, and by having treaties with us, they should like Safari more. And hopefully that'll, solve the situation. Also, okay, we have no missions, not even for Nakari or anything. But I guess we're not allied, we're defensive allies with Krace, so yeah, makes sense. Alrighty, skip, and outpost available with whom? It doesn't matter, it's one of the other Elven factions, and there isn't really a purpose to building those. Yeah. Alright. I believe we're headed to the Shrine of Kurnus next. End turn for now. And let's see about that Nakari. In the meantime, the High Elves of Krace are superb hunters, more from necessity than anything else due to Krace's numerous and deadly wildlife. Nearing Krace's western border is a peaceful shrine to Kurnus in the woods, where the pelts and meat of beasts are left by the god of the hunt's faithful. While it is mostly Kracians who pray and make offerings here, the most esteemed hunters of Ulthuan make pilgrimage here as well. Nakari has perverted the shrine of Kurnus now, turning it from a place of respectful and moderate hunters to a place of sadistic pleasure. Hunters of a sort still pray here, but in a manner more pleasing to SLAANESH. Whole packs of animals are brought to the shrine of Kurnus to be flayed alive, while the great and noble beasts of Ulthuan are chained down and slowly tortured while still being kept alive. Nakari delights in befouling the sacred grounds of the elves he despises, but his ambitions surely will not stop here. I would expect not. And actually, speaking of Nakari, do we have military presence here? Oh, please tell me you're still alive. Damn it. Okay, ally mobilizes towards settlement. War declared between Illyrian and... They did take Torsathai. Alright, I'll leave the Volsandal to them then. They can keep it, they can lose it.
Princess of the Asuryan.
Probably best not to invest in... Oh, hello. I would imagine you're going towards Eltharion, but there's a decent likelihood that they redeclare war on us either way. Faction destroyed Ostland and Skeggy. Oh, interesting. Mazdamundi took them out quickly. Good for him, I suppose. Yeah, so we'll leave Volsandal, though funnily enough, if we use the money to take it, and these guys retake Knightwood, if they peace out, and we could then trade these guys Volsandal to fix the border guard. Do I really want to deal with that, though? Also, out of curiosity, Illyrian. See here for a second. So court unity allows us to confederate major factions, not minor factions. Minor factions have to be confederated the regular way, and I don't really care that much about keeping the minor factions around that much. Plus I got some good landmarks and all that.
A wise course.
In that light...
For the Phoenix
Alright,
King.
well, maybe we'll leave Volsandal to you then and save the money. Plus, we need to save up 5,000 gold to upgrade Lothern, and, well, actually 4,000, because we can switch to rebuild Lost Splendor, assuming that you're done recruiting, which for now you mostly are. The other ranks will most likely be filled by a combination of exalted units, archers, and artillery, which we do not yet have, but this is more than enough of a stack to deal with some basic problems. I wish there was an island nearby that you could sail to fight, but alas, I don't see one nearby. Well, either way, I think we're going to shadow Sammy Raynors here, so go to Lothern. Instead of this, we will... Almost even tempted to go past Lothern to Caranthel. It's not like you can go after these guys, because remember, the AI can just ignore the treaties. Maybe you'll be fine. Yeah, sit there for now. Let's upgrade Elisali as the more, or least likely of these to fall. It's 2,000 gold. And then Lothern, you can for now at least switch to rebuild Lost Splendor, though we'll need to switch back as soon as we have those exalted units. Tyrion, in March stance you can nearly reach Shrine of Kurnus. I think we are free to go into regular stance and head towards the shrine like this. We should still be able to reach it next turn. Alright. Go here.
Pausing for a moment.
And I don't see an Akari. Is this place besieged? It is not. It does still have a military presence. Oh, and Akari might be in one of the others.
Behold
He still has an army, judging by this. Ooh, you seem to have lost your main army. Oh no. What's happening here? But you have taken Elysia. Okay, well.
You need me?
You can move in as well. They can't ambush. There's no beastmen here to take advantage of this. Oh, Silostra's here as well. But she's fighting Talaris Dreadbringer. Oh, I wonder what his defeat rate is. Either way, how are you guys doing? At least peace out with each other. Wait, they lost their main stack. Maybe they'll ask for peace now? Come on. Please. Or lose Torsar War and then ask for peace. I wish I could trade them a settlement and broker peace, but alas, it doesn't seem to be a possibility. Anyway, Avalorn... You know what, keep collecting the money for now. We will uncollect it eventually, but for now, we need the cash more than we need the additional growth, sad though that may be. Diplomacy.
You may approach.
Nothing interesting about the looks of it. Ally missions, Talaris Dreadbringer. Yeah, sure, we'll take the Talaris Dreadbringer missions. Could always borrow some of the other kingdom's armies as well. Outpost available? No. In turn. Let's see what happens at the Shrine of Kurnus next turn. Oh, perfect, Nakari. Yes, yes. Beautiful. You go into Shrine of Kurnus. Alright. And Eltharion the Grim, what you doing, bud? You want us to redeclare war on the Dreadfleet? We will in 8 turns. We did peace out with them for 3,000 gold last episode, and I'm certainly not regretting the decision at this time. Frankly, once again, if either Safari or Yvresse take on the Dreadfleet and, you know, wipe them out for good, I'd be reasonably happy about the whole situation. Actually, I just realized something. Shrine of Kurnos, they have no SLAANESH corruption. Oh, poor Nakari, because they have less settlements than the Kracians do here. Which means, unfortunately, for Nakari, the... Really? Really, Talaris? Is this the time? Is this the time? I get the Tyrions in March stance, but why are you We're having a moment here. Ossian Guard, Harganeth Executioners. Madness of Khaine. Oh, we gotta watch out for that. 18,000 HP. Just out of curiosity, 16,000 on the Keepers of the Flame, but these guys have a lot less units. We need to make sure we pierce their armor. The shades are going to be an issue for the poor Phoenix. And the more damage we take, the less easy it'll be to take on Nakari. Still, it's a pretty interesting situation. And away we go. Alrighty, for order, fair enough. Here we go. Talaris Dreadbringer should be a pretty interesting foe for us to face off against. And, since he's a modded lord, I guess we won't be getting any kind of blurbs or description about him. For those unfamiliar with the lore, Talaris is the captain of the Harganeth Executioners, but more importantly than that, he is the chosen of Khaine, or herald of Khaine, and in the way that Malekith pretends to be, essentially. So Malekith essentially uses the religious system of the Dark Elves, the Khainite worship, for his benefit, and the state essentially forces them to say that he is the chosen, the avatar of Khaine. In reality, it is this guy who hears Khaine's voice in his head and is quite nasty, and with all the slaughtering and all this stuff. Frankly, if I do next time I do a Dark Elves run, I've been thinking of doing a Talaris run, just because I love those executioners. And just real quick, I'd like to take a look at the Ossian Guard, who I guess are his unique executioners. Again, the Madness of Khaine is going to be a problem for us, and they look magnificent. I mean, lore masters, or swords masters rather, look nice, but I gotta give it to the executioners. And these are the sort of, these guys don't have the death masks that the regular executioners do. They're kind of a mix of the black guard helms together with the executioner bodies, and do look pretty neat. And I love those red capes. Ooh, do they have a? Oh, but they don't have a banner, sadly, because it's a modded unit. But oh well, not a big deal. There is plenty of other banners here and elsewhere, I'm sure. I wanted to see the one with the death masks that the executioners should have, but oh well, not a big deal. Anyway, let's speed this up. We've been waiting for our units to make their way onto the battlefield as the enemy was looking for us, which is why their armies are spread out. We hid Alistar in the center of the wood here. And now we make our way onto the battlefield to immediately engage the Ossian Guard, Harganeth Executioners. We will, to get it on cooldown, immediately activate the Arcane Unforging. No, that's not Arcane Unforging. Fiery Convocation, moving through the enemy ranks and dishing about half HP damage to them, while plus the hit that they took from the Wind Blast, and the little bit of damage they took from Tyrion, who immediately closes the distance with them. Together with his heroes, the Noble and Alistar are also in here. And we're going to keep dropping spells on them. This is a tier 5 unit, and they are forcing Tyrion into Rampage, so he cannot immediately move to duel Talaris. In the meantime, Talaris' army is starting to move towards ours, but frankly, looking for us while we were hidden has kind of screwed him over, as we're effectively engaging a good, let's say, half of his army before the rest arrives. Oh, I do like that we have a sort of more visible portion underneath the canopy of these trees here. A nice decapitation, or just general killing, from that noble there. Our sea companies, or our ship's companies rather, have engaged the enemy now, and the company of the Calendarian are here to lend their armor-piercing great axes to the fray against those executioners. In the meantime, Talaris has arrived. And we're going to clear a few of those units by dropping 4, 5, 6 wakes of fire right in the midst of all the enemy. And by the looks of it, the wakes of fire clear out the Dread Spears, the other Dread Spears, and the other Dread Spears, and the remnants of the Ossian Guard. Now executioners are gone and only Talaris remains, surrounded by the enemy, but frankly, that's exactly where he wants to be. This fella lives for the slaughter. I'm sure he'll want to show the other executioners how it's done. Here, is surrounded by the ship's company, he engages in a duel with Alistar, and frankly, he's already taken about half HP off of him. He hits very hard with about 700 damage before any buffs, but it does make sense with a great weapon. Alright, but he is surrounded, and ooh, is that Murderous Prowess activates. That's, oh, he's hitting for 1,000 with 113 melee attack. Yeah, I think we're going to have to back Alistar off. I don't think he can face him right now. He hits literally twice as hard as he does in terms of both weapon strength and melee attack. In the meantime, Tyrion has gone into the Curse of Anarian Rampage and is so rampaging around, but we've been able to separate others of our units, though admittedly they are being rather slow about getting onto the battlefield. And several are still trying to move into position. But I suppose it's only fair as the enemy was taking a while as well. We'll keep a few of the enemy distracted. We don't seek to kill them with the Silver Helms, especially as there are Dread Spears there, and there's no need to get bogged down. But what we do is distract them long enough to not reinforce the enemy that are still in the fight. And it looks like, while Alistar has taken a bit of a beating, Tyrion's Curse of Anarian has ended, and now he moves to fight Talaris himself, at last forcing him to break. Lovely. His army is still in the fight, however, probably with the knowledge that Talaris would be more than happy to execute them if they should falter. Well, I'm almost surprised that he's not unbreakable. Go figure. But anyway, we are not going to kill him. We are going to leave him with one hit remaining and then just leave him alone, because I don't know what his defeat trait is, and since he's attacked Alistar rather than Tyrion will get it. In fact, with that, the battle is done, and the enemy falls for the bait in the forest there. Talaris' main stag destroyed, and I don't know if the Scourge of Khaine can recover. Let's find out what that defeat trait does. Alrighty, there we go. We managed to kill off the entire army and then keep Talaris alive with just a teensy bit of HP, just in case he has a good defeat trait, in which case we'd want to get it on Tyrion as well as Alistar. And the Ossian Guard of his have been destroyed, though with the AI cheats on Regiments of Renown, I feel like they'll just get them back immediately next turn, but anyway. We did take some damage, not surprisingly, considering we were in March stance. But, though Nakari is definitely going to be a threat, a big threat, I nonetheless think that we've no choice here but to take the 2.4k money. It's a lot of money. Oh, we can't even force labor. They're all dead. So yeah, a great work out of the Phoenix with 49,000 HP, or 49,000 damage. Tyrion went into a rampage. Talaris actually nearly killed Alistar. Great Axe, meaning Drake, and that's the, for those unfamiliar, the weapon that the Harganeth Executioners use, and the captain of the Harganeth Executioners probably has a pretty nice one. Anyway, we have 31,000 on the Noble, thanks to his casting, a little bit less on the Mage of the Heavens, but she was more support casting, Harmonic Convergence, and Curse of the Midnight Wind, both of which worked out nicely for us. Anyway, I'm going to say ransom those captives.
Turn them loose.
He will most... Oh, he went in the other direction. That's annoying. What's the trait? It's okay. It isn't one that matters. It's not a bad trait, mind you, but where did we get the Briar Sheath from? Did we just randomly find it? How did we get this? Weird. Alright, what is this? Infighting. A dispute has developed between the nobles of Safari. What are you doing, Safari? Would you stop? Between the nobles of Safari and Niveres, whom the Safarian elves call the Ghosts of Glory. Ouch. Alright. Although the petty clandestine squabbles of lower houses are never usually a concern for the Phoenix King, the Safarian elves bristle with magical power, while Torivres is one of the most defensible, if dangerously ill-garrisoned cities in Ulthuan. Harmony between these two houses is preferable, but if not possible, then someone, somewhere, must be appeased. Recruit hero mage for 30 influence. Quietly confide construction for defense buildings, which we're not building right now. We could pay money to get influence, which I'm disinclined to do, and the leadership for armies probably doesn't matter over much. We could risk the recruitment of a mage and use them as a tech thief. Most likely the mage will not have a good trait and therefore will be relatively worthless. Or we could save the 22 influence and just use the just use this, for example. I mean, we could take a gamble on the mage and always delete it if it needed. Certainly the 300 gold per turn that it would cost to keep it on field is going to hurt, but let's quietly confide in Safri. Inform the Safri elves that their power is widely respected throughout Ulthuan. I mean, it's true, but, you know, take the mage. See what we get out of this. Plus, we could use a temporary mage in one of our armies. Ally mission successful, Avalorn and Illyrian. There's that Briar Sheath, because reasons. Captain of Thieves and Murderers. Can they take your boat and get off my island? If I see you here again, there is going to be trouble, you hear me? Alright, what else do we have here? The Isle of Ulthuan, Elisele, the path... Why did it... Huh. Why is it talking about Elisele now? I guess we didn't get it when we conquered it. No, nonetheless, that's a nice blurb about Elisele, which we will read in a bit. Advisor to the king, Cadrill, you now have income from all buildings. Oh, what mage did we get? And it's a mage of beasts. I love the beast lore. You got Thinker. Oh, wow. You actually will work as a tech thief quite nicely. Huh, go figure. Alright, well, we can use you as a temporary mage for Cadrill. Hello. Remnants of battle. Yes. Alrighty, go into Cadrill's army. Good. Defenders of Ulthuan, the fate of the spirit. What is this? Alright, there's a couple of things that we gotta read, but... And, oh, we recruited our first mage. Okay, wait. Well, fortunately, what is this? Faith of the Asuryan. Ooh, yes, okay, so we can get Caradrian. Good. I wonder why this quest only got issued now. Maybe it's a turn 15 only quest? Huh, not sure. Anyway, in these uncertain times, the guidance of the Creator God shall be crucial to the security of the realms. In the greatest struggles, it is the devoted guardians of Asuryan, the Phoenix Guard, who are always found where the fighting is the fiercest and the hardest of victories are won. Thus, an enduring display of our faith shall demonstrate that we are worthy of Asuryan's strength through the Guard's service. Construct shrine. Recruit an additional lord. Well, we'll obviously build the Shrine of Asuryan and the Shrine of Asuryan. Or, actually, no, wait. It's a tier 5 building, meaning we would want to build it in Lothern. Also, we want to upgrade Lothern, don't we? For 1,000 gold. It's so expensive, but it is what it is. We get a lot of good stuff, including our first Elven Embassy out of it, and we have no choice in the matter. Hopefully you can deal with Sammy Rains, which would prevent us from needing to deal with it ourselves. Alright, then... Funnily enough, we could probably send Alistar to hunt this guy down, but we are in range of Nakari. Yes, yes, we are. He did recruit. Ooh, he still has the... He has the Marquis of Maschism. I assume he gets it at tier 4, and he just reached rank 10. Oh, he's got a portal glyph too? Well, lucky him. And the garrison's not too bad. We might struggle a little bit, but we did reach rank 10. Ooh, yeah, that's lucky. The question is, what will be of most use for the fight here? Charge bonus 1 in foreign territory plus 20% plus Strider for you. We gotta go with the melee defense and melee attack. Out of Masterful Strategist. Always Ready will give us an increase in movement range and weapon strength when attacking, but only for Tyrion himself. I'm inclined to go for Karhander's Descendants rather than Always Ready. Although the additional XP and the replenishment rate will help. Oh wait, but it's weapon strength when attacking... Is this for the army? Or the Lord? Nah, I assume this is for the Lord. It's kind of unclear, to be perfectly honest. But usually it says Lord's Army, so I assume that this is for the Lord. Casualty replenishment rate plus 20%. Again... I assume this is for the Lord and not for the Lord's Army, which makes it kind of meh, but the experience is nice. I guess if this... You know what? Let's go 1 and 1, because I'm not entirely sure. We still have to max out Korhander's Descendants as quickly as possible to get the campaign movement range, but for now we'll deal with this like this. And then the Mage. I'm inclined to say we most likely won't get too much use out of the Comet here. Let's max out Curse of the Midnight Wind. We're going to need it to focus Nakari down. A Noble. You can get, I guess, Hero. There's nothing really that we need out of any of this right now. Let's go for Hero. Alright, did we get any items out of that? Alright, we got the Briar Sheath. It's not like we're... not like we're taking away the Lion's Belt. Stalk, Snipe, Woodsman, and Unspottable. You know what? I'm going to put this on the Mage for now. Because it'll keep her hidden from potentially attacks by Nakari. Alright, let's do that. Tyrion are going to move there in a second. In the meantime, however, first of all, still at war, right? 40 and 87. Okay, I'm hoping that you guys can stop this now, and soon at least. Then, you are going to pop into Cadril's army. Temporarily, mind you. And, oh, you gotta be kidding me. That cripples her movement range and doesn't let her reach her remnants of battle.
Lady of the Phoenix Court.
Although I guess it's a remnants of battle, but it doesn't necessarily... Just
Very well.
irritating. Alright, and for now then, you can hold on to the... Oh, you can't hold on to the Advisor of the King. Well, fair enough. Alright, let's give a read to one of the blurbs, then we'll do this, and then we'll deal with the other blurb. We had 3 blurbs, as I recall. The one I want first is maybe the mage one. It's the smaller one. Or do we do Illisalia? Because we've had it for a while. Alright, let's do the Illisalia one, then we'll jump into maybe a fight. Alright, with Illisalia, a secret passage can be found that leads from Yvresse to Safari through the mountains. Such a journey requires moving along twisted paths upward that seem to bring the mountains no closer. Such a route will lead to a narrow defile between 2 jutting fangs of rock that wind downwards into a dark hollow in which stand a tall, glistening stone at the confluence of 3 gurgling streams. Thanks. I'll be sure to remember that. Spiral patterns and ancient faded runes have been carved into the rock, and one can make out an image of a carved gateway against a far cliff. Even elves untrained in the arcane arts can sense the reservoir of magic collected here. Reaching the base of the hollow, one must kneel at the watchstone and sing a secret lilting melody, one whose mythical cadences are felt in the soul as much as heard. Each word slips through the darkness, and the landscape responds with the sigh of trees and rocks stirring themselves from their slumber. Soon the terrain shifts, and the stars above spread out before you, their luminescence rippling behind the magical haze washing from the mountains. A glittering haze gathers at the lip of the hollow and rolls down the slope towards the singer. To interrupt such a song now would be perilous. The mist then rises to fill the hollow. Strange shapes appear within it, the revenants of long-dead elves, fragmentary images of times and places, yet unknown to the living. The mist gathers around the hollow's occupants, coiling as if itself alive, cocooning all in its moist, clammy embrace. Thanks for that description. To speak now is dangerous, yet all sound is muffled by the mist. The sheer cliff of white rock ahead, where once there had been but an image of a gateway, now yawns open, black and terrible. Sinister moans and a breath of hot, vibrant air blows from it, rich with potent energies. No sooner does one step inside than one feels their senses assaulted by a great and terrible weight of things, monstrously powerful things, lurking just beyond the edge of perception. One can see nothing, yet the power lurking in this place supplies the fuel, whilst one's imagination supplies the tools to render all manner of terrors and dreamscapes. Indeed, the darkness retreats in the face of such freshly realized potential. Vast expanses of dark mountains ruled over by glistening towers of meat, marching swords and spears atop great riding beasts, powerful armies destroying one another in a verdant field of blue flowers, and 1,000 of other such visions, each more vivid and bizarre than the last. There is little one can do to cease or retreat from such imagery. The magic coursing through the mountains is raw and elemental, devoid of conscience and mercy. Any sense of time is rendered meaningless in this place, beneath the annuli, for there is no time, no dimension, and no sense of place within the world. Eventually, though, the intensity of such visions fade before a powerful sense of having emerged from the waters of the most torrential river imaginable. With a great gulping breath, strands of magic slide from one's mind as the darkness of the mountain reasserts itself. At this point, one will travel along a narrow passageway cleft in the mountainside, one whose rock glistens with the dewy residue of magic. Coming onto a wide shelf jutting from the cliff of the mountains, the air becomes sweet as columns of green trees stand tall around the plateau, and the traveler finally beholds Safari. Neat. So I take it we got this little pass towards Safari and the White Tower. Makes sense, Safari does like its magics. Alright, now, Cadril. How much money will we lose from you being out of the settlement for a turn? Let's find out. 2308 down to, 500 per turn. That might not even be worth it to grab this island. Go for Sunken Chest. Come on, upkeep reduction. Sort of strife. Trunk of maps. Alright, well, no upkeep reduction this time. Pointless to land in Valzan, so you're just gonna go here. I don't see any other islands around. And I just out of curiosity.
Spellcrafter.
But you were able to reach the... Or actually, you're just short, aren't you? Let me just see 1
Kish
second.
guides me.
Yeah. Alright, fine, fair enough. Too bad we can't garrison you. Alright, then... Oh, you've reached Bordelot, assuming Moloch Slugtongue doesn't declare war on us suddenly. Oh, we can use the... Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Bretonia is not looking so good. Well, considering how much Lewin got obliterated... Oh, wow. Run has Chaos Corruption there, although it's probably out of Languille. Considering how much Lewin had a difficult time in the Enchantress campaign, this does not surprise me. Aquitaine is Chaos Corrupted, Brienne is Nurgle Corrupted, Carcassonne is Nurgle Corrupted. Caravan is fine. Alright. And how far are... Okay, so this is Morgar up here. Oh, we gotta get his defeat trait as well. It's looking for Skaven Corruption. Okay, well, that's all looking kind of iffy.
You bet.
And we'll deal with it as best we can, whensoever we can. Alrighty, in the meantime, though, I guess it's Nakariing time, isn't it? South of Rest. We could build up the Cinnabar mining pit, though the growth here is kind of atrocious, and perhaps... perhaps we get the growth building? Oh, or we could get the Elven Gardens, get another noble for additional influence and such. Really need the money and the growth, though. I'm going to say... Oh, the public order here is also terrible. And additional public order... Wait. Yeah, the loss of public order means loss of growth. Yeah, we're going to need to start with the plaza, actually. So start with the plaza. We'll bring it up to tier 2, then upgrade one of these, and then switch the place to growth, generally speaking. For a little while, at least. In the meantime, Nakari. Currently, you are at war with Krace and Ivres. Krace will join your war against the seducers of SLAANESH. I was hoping for a defensive alliance. Wow, you don't want a defensive alliance. Perhaps you don't like our treaties with Safari, but we'll try to fix your relationship. Alright, do this, and balance offer. Non-aggression pact.
I will see to it.
Like so. Then... you really don't want to trade, huh? We could use a little bit of influence on that, but the thing is, if we get to 500 influence, we'll be able to piece out these guys. In theory. Actually, just out of curiosity, I just wanted to see if this has increased chances. Safari and... Establish trade, confederate... Oh, wait, no, I meant to select the... Yeah, just 1 second. I meant to select Avalorn. Make peace. 498. They still like each other, but this has grown quite costly now, so I'm just gonna hope that they can deal with this themselves. We shall see. You, Tyrion, your army needs this. You're going to go into Noble Prestige stance, and we will strike at the Shrine of Kurnus. Let's see if we can pull this off. And no seduction. Yeah, no Slaaneshi influence means no seduction. Sorry, buddy. Or at the very least, assuming you can't afford it. You're gonna encamp, I think, for the extra melee defense, because you're already pretty low. I'd love to get you Noble Prestige, but I think we're okay. Cast down Cold Eyes nearby as well. Get that shrine. Tyrion likes that sort of thing. And item-wise, can we give you the Sword of Strife for the fight? Can't use anything else out of this. Can't use anything else out of this. At the very least, I don't think anything will help. So I guess we're going.
To victory.
It's Nakariing time. Go.
Sons and daughters of Ulthuan, be ready. Gird your souls. Let them come to battle.
Alrighty, to battle indeed. Here we go. Nakari, this is obviously a make or break moment for this campaign, as if we lose this army here, it's going to be a long time traveling up to deal with Nakari, A, and B, he will probably kill off Krace in the time that it takes to get back up here. So, a pretty critical battle to fight. In addition to that, we've defeated the Chosen of Khaine, the mortal avatar of Khaine, and it's not now now time to defeat the never-born chosen of SLAANESH, though I am perhaps getting a little bit ahead of myself because N'Kari is scary, but with 0 armor, he should be very susceptible to our non-armor-piercing High Elven archers. Anyway, we're going to start the battle off deployed a little bit far back, not quite to the edge of the map, but we want to get Alistar on the battlefield, and it looks like N'Kari wants to move towards us. We will deploy also here because we have trees to both our flanks, and I'm hoping that the debuffs from the trees will help us hold back the portions of Hellstriders that are going to seek to hit our undefended archers. Using the trees to protect your flanks is oftentimes pretty darn effective, and thanks to the fragility of the Hellstriders and their effective lack of armor, plus the anti-large arrow fire of the Lothern Sea Guard, it looks like they are taking quite a bit of damage to both of those units. N'Kari continues towards us, and I was tempted to pop off the Bound Fiery Convocation through the enemy line while they were moving towards us, but ultimately decided not to. We'll wait for the enemy army to smash into us first. Speaking of smashing, anyway. A little on the nose for a Slaaneshi giggle. Anyway, here we go. N'Kari has closed the distance, but N'Kari forces everybody to go into Rampage, so we're actually going to peel Tyrion away briefly and then trap him in place with the Keepers of the Flame. They will allow the range fire to focus him down, and Cavalry Bane will keep him from moving. Actually, it won't, because his speed is still 116. But I suppose it doesn't matter because all of our range units focus N'Kari at the same time, plus all the anti-large from the Keepers of the Flame, who managed to bring him down at the cost of about 30% of their HP. Tyrion, in the meantime, unfortunately backed away and gone after the Cultist of SLAANESH with the Curse of Anarion on him. But I suppose he wasn't needed to deal with N'Kari. In the meantime, however, N'Kari did get close enough to summon a unit of Furies, opening a portal glyph, and had a regular other unit of Furies with him, both of which touched down upon our archers. The company of the Calendarian, however, hung back because we knew that this exact thing would happen, and they will tear those Furies apart in, well, perhaps not short order. Slaaneshi Furies with their melee, with their magical attacks and their... oh, actually, these are regular Furies. Actually, that's probably lucky for us. Slaaneshi Furies are quite devastatingly high damage thanks to all their armor piercing. Anyway, looks like Alistar was holding back a unit of a spawn of Slaanesh, as the units over on this side could not deal with him, but has taken severe damage, though admittedly he started off damaged. And now we move the Noble in to try to help him out while we hose them down with arrows. He does have 590 HP, and we're going to keep backing him off while the fight continues. In the meantime, the Phoenix has used the last of its wakes of fire, and Tyrion, as usual, leads from the front, keeping back a unit of Slaaneshi Marauders, devoted Marauders of Slaanesh, plus some Demonettes as well. On the bright side, we are still holding. The bounce power has shifted to about 80% in our favor. The Chariots of Slaanesh, like the monsters and the Hellstriders, have been thus far unable to breach our lines and get towards our range units, minus this one range unit. But we'll move the Lothern Sea Guard in to help out instead. I'm gonna drop a quick little couple of spells on them, Wind Blast and Urnon's Thunderbolt, while the Lothern Sea Guard pin these guys, and then we start focusing down the spawn of Slaanesh. That said, the damage is pretty severe so far. This terrain was not ideal for deployment. There is really only the forest to help us out, and we're in the center of the map here, so easily surroundable, but at the same time, it made for a really good fight. That's 1, 2, 3 units, pretty much all of our ship's companies destroyed, or at the very least down to about 10% of their HP. They are, I think, capable of recovering after this, but obviously severely beat up. Looking like it's gonna be a Pyrrhic victory, but a victory it will be. N'Kari will be destroyed. Oh, the arrows knock out the banner holder. Wow, that is unfortunate. Could have maybe tried to use the banner to shield yourself, but ouch. Ouchies. Anyway, with that, Nakari's host breaks, and the battle is ours. Also, if you're wondering where the Marquis of Masochism is, or went, the Marquis went in over on the left flank right here with this big blob of units, past these trees while Nakari hit the center, and I figured if we were going to watch one of them get destroyed, it was going to be Nakari as the more important exalted keeper of secrets. Anyway, a very nice fight, and the Shrine of Ruinous returned to the elves. Ooh, alrighty, there we go. The terrain did not favor us, to be sure, and we got a Pyrrhic victory, but that's quite unsurprising. Ship's Company, Tier 1, and absurdly fragile versus Demonettes is not a good matchup by any means. Nonetheless, we were able to pull it off. Tyrion getting a solid 12k damage. We got only a single use of the Fiery Convocation, but at 13k damage, still decent use. Well, plus I imagine you got like 5k damage yourself from just fighting. 6k out of the Mage of Heavens, once again it was buffing and debuffing primarily, though a couple of minor damaging spells. Great work out of the Keepers of Flame, pinning Nakari down and preventing him from moving. Although I actually didn't check whether he was immune to contact effects and thus whether the Cavalry Bane was applicable, but at the end of the day, he had a bad time against the Halberds and the Archers and all that. And the Lothern Seaguard with their anti-large managed to get 15 and 15k damage by firing into the enemy Hellstriders over on the flanks, as well as the Chariots and the Spawn of SLAANESH. Speaking of the Spawn of SLAANESH, they really wanted Alistar dead, just chasing him around, and he was already severely damaged going onto the battlefield, so yeah. And wait, we get a seductive influence just from fighting them, okay, but it should be gone because Nakari should be destroyed now. Either way, we will occupy.
We have captured it.
Like so, and this is what I wanted. 20% speed for the army. It's an absolutely insane buff. Might be one of the best in the game. Actually, probably is the best in the game. I'm trying hard to think if there's a better one. Well, Tamur Khan before his got nerfed, the one that gives you bonuses for I want to say hero capacity? 1 second, my cat's, just 1 second. Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, that completely distracted me. Other than Tamur Khan's pre-nerf buff, 20% speed. Again, this is an SFO. I imagine that it's, what, probably 10% speed in vanilla? Either way, absolutely fantastic. And hey, listen, you have an eagle now. I like it. Granted, we still want to probably keep you in the main line to make use of your bolstered defense, but it will mean that the Phoenix doesn't have to be alone in attacking aerial targets, which is just great. Whoa, whoa, no. No chariot for you. I don't think Tyrion's going to have chariots in his army. There's just not going to be room. Go for the Great Eagle, buddy. Like so, and Heir of Anarion. Ah, yes. Okay, so this one does not surprise me. Asuryan, save us. Nakari has returned. And the Rape of Ulthuan was a catastrophic event that still haunted the minds and memories of the High Elves. Had the Phoenix King Anarion not been there to put an end to the Servant of SLAANESH, the Asura race would have likely been wiped out. Thus, to see the creature responsible for the calamity back in the mortal plane was nothing short of terrifying for the wars of Ulthuan, and it was clear that it had returned with revenge in mind. Even from the opposite end of the battlefield, Nakari could feel the fear radiating from the Asura battle lines. It was a fear that he savored and reveled in. He licked his lips in anticipation of what was to come. Revenge truly was something to be savored. To drive both blade and claw into the beating heart of the scion of Anarion was something that he had dreamt of for eons, especially the one responsible for his previous demise, Tyrion. Without hesitation, Tyrion stepped forward before his soldiers. Nakari was undoubtedly looking for him, and it fell on him to answer the challenge. Drawing the sacred blade of Sunfang, he let the winds carry his voice through the ranks and lines. Let all brave Asurs stand their ground this day. Let it be known that the armies of Ulthuan are truly the glittering host. For Asuryan, for Ulthuan. Frankly, I could definitely see SLAANESH calling themselves Glittering Host as well. That's pretty SLAANESH coded, but anyway. For Asuryan, for Ulthuan, came the deafening reply. Shields locked and spears were raised as the reinvigorated Asur prepared to meet the next wave of SLAANESHi chariots and cavalry careening their way. Even as carnage ensued, the Glittering Host stood steadfast. Tyrion called out Nakari when he saw the defender of Ulthuan approaching him. Long have I waited this day. I owe you gratitude for granting me my greatest desire, to hold your beating heart in my hand and then to devour it whole. With Sunfang raised, Tyrion replied, Demon, you will not prevail now nor ever. Teclis and I banished you once, I shall do so again. Such confidence, laughed Nakari as he lunged forward, claws and blades swinging. I will enjoy every moment of this. The ensuing battle between Prince and Demon was to be recorded in the annals of Asur history. Had Nakari faced a lesser foe, he would have emerged victorious within the first minute or so. Tyrion was called the defender of Ulthuan for a reason. Sunfang glowed hot in his hand as he whirled it expertly. For all of his talk about revenge, Nakari was no match for the prince who had honed his skills since their last encounter. It was only a matter of time before Nakari found Sunfang buried in his unholy flesh. This cannot be, howled the Keeper of Secrets as Tyrion drew back. I just started thinking that with the blade bird in his unholy flesh, and I was like, maybe Nakari should have howled in pleasure. But anyway, as Tyrion drew back his sword for the strongest blow he could give, be gone. Nakari's head rolled across the grass, his eyes burning with rage for a few moments before both head and body disappeared. Tyrion watched as the demon's essence returned to its master. He could only wonder if he would ever see the vengeful Nakari in his lifetime ever again. But if he did, he would always be ready. Alright, Seducers of SLAANESH destroyed. That's another critical enemy gone. I don't think there's any military presence. You will most likely be unable to reach us here. So Tyrion, you're probably free to stay in the Shrine of Kurnus. Just in case, I'm gonna say we'll move Alistar here to this side. I just don't trust it. And I should have kept you in camp stance for the additional replenishment. My bad, buddy. You can channel then. Alright. Well, we have saved Christ, and we should still be able to... Hello. I could take the opportunity to get a couple of Illyrian Reavers if we wanted to out of this without building the structure here, which is quite interesting. Actually, speaking of, we should now have access, just out of curiosity... Damn it, misclicked that. We should now have access to Exalted units. One of each? Yeah. Good lord, 4,300. I know it's global recruitment, but still. Yeah, we should have access to the first of our units here. And frankly, you're rank 7, so we should be able to get a second one very soon. Meaning, we should be able to build a couple of archers for you, because again, ardent. And we probably wouldn't need the High Elf archers with heavy arrowheads. We can maybe leave the Lothern Sea Guard to another army with Sea Helm at the helm. Alright, actually, speaking of Sea Helms, I just want to see something. Herald, hello. Barrier and melee attack for Oceanids and Sea Elementals and Mereworm and ships companies. But no barrier for ships companies, unfortunately. I just wanted to see if we could get some nice stats on them. So far... hello. Efficient. So while this is not quite as good as Ardent, it does include units that aren't range units, and in fact, or it doesn't include just archers, it also includes all basic units, basically, plus Shadow Warriors. And Sisters of Avalorn. Yeah. But the fact that it includes spears and Silvern Guard is quite good. I probably would be happy to actually pick you up, Mr. Efficient Man. Tempting. Give me a minute. I will think about this. We don't have a lot of money to go around, but we will want another army. And what we could do is effectively use that lord to command the army and have Alistar follow him, with Alistar sort of commanding the army, quote-unquote, and then just afterwards transferring the army or building, you know, Alistar's own army. We just need the white lines, but they're stupidly expensive for now, so maybe we could get him some more lines at least. Anyway, did that do anything for us diplomacy-wise?
Everqueen.
Not really. We did, however, get some more coordination targets. Talaris Dreadbringer is still kicking. We left him alive on purpose, though. Again. Alright, then... I believe we had a couple of blurbs, one small one. What was this? Not out the Nakari defeat one. We'll never be seeing Nakari again, so yeah. The Glittering Host Mages, and... we already okay, so it was these two. Defenders of Ulthuan, the Fate of the Spirit, I don't know what this is talking about, and the Glittering Host. Okay, this one's a small one. By lineage and inclination, the High Elves are a magical race. They are fascinated by the secrets of sorcery, and their mages' nimble minds can embrace a deeper understanding of its subtleties and whims than other wizards. It is well that this is so, for without the magics of the High Elf mages, Ulthuan would have long since slipped beneath the waves or been overwhelmed by the black sorceries of Nagarothi sorcerers. Indeed, not only Ulthuan, but the entire world owes much to the disciplined and selfless actions of High Elf mages. It is by their efforts that the great vortex and the network of waystones that feed it are maintained, and the dread power of chaos thus kept in abeyance. In Ulthuan, those who... wrong one. My bad. I wanted to zoom in on the vortex, then... there we go, that's better. You can kind of get the sort of weather effect happening so that it could add to the dramatic reading. Anyway, in Ulthuan, those who devote their lives to magic are treated with the highest respect and honor. Though each kingdom has its own magical traditions and methods of scholarship, Safari is the realm most famed for its mages, and it is at the White Tower of Hoeth that Ulthuan's seat of magical learning can be found. There, the greatest collection of mages, lore masters, and scholars in the world endeavor to perfect their mastery of the sorcerous arts. It is a place of wonders unbounded, where mages strive to harness every aspect of the winds of magic. Alright, then you... you really didn't level from that fight. I wanted to get you inspiring presence. Well, I hope you don't die. Actually, speaking of the convoys, what about the other one? You did level. You're still hurt, but you did level. Inspiring presence. In fact, you're leveled twice. I'm going to say hidden stores. Influence on completing convoy route. Yeah, that'll be helpful. But for now, we'll go for hidden stores for obvious reasons. Anything else interesting in your traits here? Anything unique? Grim Discipline. That's quite nice. That's quite nice indeed. Immunity to Psychology. Healing Crystal for Lord's Army. Range, yada yada yada. Duration is short, though. But nonetheless... a little bit of healing is helpful, and unending volley for missile units restoring their ammunition. Considering you'll never have a healing mage, most likely the healing crystal is probably the way to go. And, ooh, immunity to contact effects. Yeah, there's some good stuff on the convoy captains, as long as they survive. And we'll just have to see. Alright, you. Let's see if you complete your journey to Bordeaux. And I can no longer remember... oh yeah, we never went down here, because we'd have to go by the Dread Fleet. Yeah. Alright, you know what? We're gonna spend the money. Let's get this prince up and running efficient. 253. I do wonder whether we should just get you on field, like so.
Prince of Alpha.
Yeah, we got 1,000 gold for it, so we got the money back. And then... we will disband you until we need you again. Because it's 253 per turn is not worth it right now, because even you're not... oh, wait, actually. You do have a purpose right now. You can get some of those Exalted troops up and running. Now you... these guys are expensive, but it'll be good in the army. We get one of each of these. Wait, were we saving cash for anything? Oh, we need to upgrade all the tier 3 stuff next turn. By which point Kadril will be able to recruit them herself, meaning for now you will serve no purpose, meaning disband. Goodbye, sir. Like so. Alright, that's decided, and I believe we have one more blurb to read and then the next turn. Alright, now, the last blurb is this Fate of the Spirit thing. Again, I'm not entirely sure what this is talking about. To hungry gods, elven spirit stuff is the most delectable of all prizes. SLAANESH, the dark prince of chaos, is rapacious in all his appetites, but thirsts for elven souls beyond all others. Those few who escape his maw must then evade the grasp of Aerith Kial, the Pale Queen. Such fates are truly worse than death, ending either in total obliteration of the soul or torment without end. To guard against such fates, all High Elves are spiritually bound to the waystones of their ancestral lands. Oh, Fate of the Spirit. I thought it meant like a specific spirit, like Morgar or something like that, but anyway. Okay, yeah, this is a good blurb. A little bit of lore about the Waystones. From the moment of binding onwards, each elf feels a powerful connection to the land upon which his Waystone rests, though he may spend a life wandering other lands. Many High Elves carry Wayshards, small gemstones attuned to the network of Waystones that allow their bearers to feel the position of individual stones and thus navigate the world. When an elf dies, his soul is drawn to the bound Waystone and becomes part of the ritual that sustains the Great Vortex. In this way, the folk of Ulthuan continue to protect in death the world they defended in life. It is even said that at midnight the hills and fields about a Waystone tremble to the gallop of invisible hooves and ring with the din of a battle that lies beyond mortal sight. Thus is the loss of even a single Waystone a terrible tragedy. Not only does its fall diminish the magics of the Great Vortex, but with its destruction the spirits would then lose their anchor and are left defenseless before the gaze of predatory gods. Skip, 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 and turn. Alright, next turn. We'll upgrade some of the stuff at Lothern. I hoped I kept it at construction reduction, and then hopefully... Are you still at war with Safri? Good lord. No, go fight the Dreadfleet. Stop fighting each other. Bunch of idiots. If it doesn't stop, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to use our influence to forcibly confederate Safari. They still like us, after all. And if they keep losing armies, and if we keep our relationship with them positive, it should, in theory, be possible reasonably soon. Ideally, I'd really love to avoid spending 2,000 influence on it, but that's the main reason I'm not using influence right now, though we could pick up other seats. Though I am tempted to pick up one for the Lothern Seaguard army. Oh, it looks like the Cracians are attempting to proceed to the Shrine of Khaine. I wonder if it has the Dark Elven defensive structure. If it does... There's no way that their half-stack can take it because Dark Elven garrisons are insane. If it doesn't, though, they have a solid chance. I was going to... Okay, that's an interesting question. Wait. Added Knights Errant and Gilded... Hello, regeneration? Why, thank you, Bretonia. That'll work out nicely until Tyrion has the dragon armor. Knights Errant are going to be a little bit on the weaker side. I hope... No, we can still use their lance formation, though, so maybe not so weak. That'll work nicely. I'm surprised that that convoy actually managed to complete. What the heck are you doing? Did they actually defeat Iltharion? No, he just ran away like a pathetic coward. Okay. You. They could go after Karen Thel if they break their agreement, which they very well could. We can't reach it in one turn anyway, but there's no way this place is defending itself. These are starting to get annoying. Alright, Gilded Cuirass will deal with you in a second. Free influence as well. Ally mobilizes the Isle of Ulthuan Lothern. We will give this a read later, perhaps next time. Convoy completed, good. Gilded Cuirass, very good. Military convoys, you will have leveled up off of that. And I want you to immediately get Inspiring Presence while you move. The other convoy is still damaged, I take it? Can I actually select you? Okay. Yeah, it's still kind of damaged. I would have loved to send it out again, but maybe we send a new one. We already have the ambassador to the Azure kind. And this kind already gets high encounters with High Elves, and frankly, a couple of Silver Helms. Especially considering we're going to be using these guys with our main army, or Tyrion's army. I'd be more interested in a different kind of army than this. And we could just try to send you out again, damaged though you may be. I wish we had more healing. How damaged are you, incidentally? Yeah, but you're returning to the capital even though you're less damaged. I guess we could do another ambassador to the Azure then. More Wood Elves. I like it. Alright, Higher Master and... I was about to say, if we get another ambassador to the Wood Elves, we should probably try to send one either to... Really? You can't... There is no convoy to Lorelorn? Okay, that's... There should be a convoy to Lorelorn. We could send you to the Empire, although Marienburg is owned by these guys, and I don't like that. Oh, we could go out to the Monoliths. We've been to Arnheim. This is not safe, but what are you gonna do? Frankly, none of our routes are really safe right now. You know what? let's do Ambassador of the Asuryan. Let's send them to Brigun. There's lizards down there. Less likely that they actually declare war on us. And as our convoys level up, we can send them further afield, but for now. Ambassador to the Azurite too. Elven Boogaloo. And you're going down to Brigun. Brigo. Alright. That was awful. Anyway, don't request. Again, I'd love to get the extra money, but I just don't trust them to actually reach there. I mean, we could try it, but 80 influence in the early game is... no. Not happening. Next up, you're able to reach a Shrine of Khaine and take it before these guys do. I'm willing to bet you can't take Toranlek. Yeah, there's no way. Althor loss. Huh? Did Talaris go into Tordra? No, I was about to say, did he suffer attrition and die? What the heck? Where'd he go? Ooh, there's a bunch of islands here. That would be great. There's 3 islands in a row, though the AI is liable to pick those up. Either way, Kadril, I'm going to send you to Lothern. And we're going to pop Trillion into your army. Frankly, a Beast Mage is also a decent option for a very solid option for a ranged army. Miss Mage might be better in this particular situation, but nonetheless. And then we will immediately upgrade this, which should double up our capacity of Exalted units. Horrifically expensive, but it is what it is. And what else do we want here? We need our first Elven Embassy, doubtless. Your action success chance in the region doesn't really matter over much, but the rest of the stuff is pretty good. Our public order is good here thanks to the Sacred Flames of Asuryan. We should upgrade you as well for the additional cash. What other thing do we want? I was going to build a promenade, but at the same time, we need to get the Shrine of Asuryan in order to get Caradrian up and running. And I did want Gateguard Garrison and the Elven Workshop. Well, you know what? We could build the Elven Workshop in Tori Vresma, or Elisale, rather. And then there's the Archive for more mages, and early game Oceanids. We will need artillery, though. Alright, let's start with the Shrine of Asuryan since we have the quest for it. We may break it down, we may not. You know what? Hold off on the embassy for now. We'll probably still build it, but just relax. You have... Yeah, you have no more turns of the high-level recruitment, but frankly, with the exalted units, you should be fine. Also stupidly expensive. Anyway, I'll leave this as it is. Hold off on the estate. We will actually take it out of the settlement, but only once we have some more of this stuff upgraded and have more growth in place, generally speaking. Yeah. Alright, that looks good. Let's check diplomacy, see if any new trading partners. Crisis nearly there. In fact, I was going to give their territory back to them, the Shrine of Kurnos, I mean. As we will build the exalted variants of the Illyrian Reavers and stuff. What do we... Oh, they do have a tier 3 Dark Palisade. Oh, man. That's 1 unit of Blackguard, 2 units of Harganeth Executioners, and 2 units of Cold One Dread Knights. It's gonna be iffy. It's gonna be tremendously iffy. Well, what are you gonna do? To the shrine. We could wait the turn. I don't think these guys will win. Wait, did you go out to sea? Huh. I was not expecting that. They can't win this. And that's Cullen, not Corhill. Are you guys at war with them? You are. So what are you gonna do here? Watch them steal the islands. Alright, you know what? Then I think Tyrion, you're gonna have to spend the turn healing here. It's just safer that way. You can encamp to heal slightly more. Actually, you know what? Yeah, no, you can encamp. Stay here and camp. We'll take the Shrine of Khaine next turn. We'll trade the Shrine of Kurnos. I hate not moving with an army, but I don't think we have much of a choice in the matter. What you could also do is... Oh, I wanted to double check whether this casualty replenishment rate is for you only. So 42 and 2. Pretty sure it's only for Tyrion. Oh, actually, no, we should save for rank 12. We're going to start with Majesty of Ulthuan. Later on, we may reset him and switch to Bloodline of Anarion. Though, again, Majesty of Ulthuan is so much better than Bloodline of Anarion, it just feels not worth it. Yeah, it slightly buffs the melee and missile damage of the army, but generally speaking, I vastly prefer army buffs to Lord buffs, and this effectively buffs for the faction and the Lord, versus slight buffs for the army and some buffs for Tyrion, who's already obnoxiously strong, so there isn't any real need for it. Anyway, oh, you got Focused Mind now. Your success chance. Well, that's nice. For now, I'm going to say grab magical reserves. Keep going through that tree. Noble, you're actually going to save your points until you reach rank 14, and then Tyrion, you're going to save your points as well. Shrine of Khaine next turn. I do believe we're ready to end the turn then, since we're not moving you now. And we'll see what happens with these guys. Be very annoying if they take Caranthel and then we immediately lose it to Eltharion, especially since we've now somewhat at least invested in this. We could build the colonnade. Then we won't have enough money to recruit stuff with Kedril next turn. Okay, we forego the colonnade then. And you do have the income from all buildings for now? Yes, alright. Skip building upgrades and end the turn, and then we're just gonna have to wait and see. Like so. Wait. Event messages, new convoy. Oh, there was another... Oh. Was there another reedy thing? Yeah, there was this one. There was this one. The city is also home to the Temple of Phoenix Kings, blah, 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 blah. Alright, I want to separate the reading and the battles. Meaning... to the Shrine of Khaine. With half HP. Alright, well that made our decision for us. Oh, there's Stellaris. Alright, we will fight this then at our current HP levels. And you, sir, are still going to reinforce in march stance, like so. And then you, sir, are going to lose that Helm of Discord, which we will give to our eagle-riding friend here. Yeah, Lariel. Gilded Curious.
Impressive.
Helm of Discord. And I guess we give the Shield of Talos to you. No, everybody has a freaking purple armor. Alright, fine. You...
Princess of the Asur.
Can have the Shield of Talos. There we go. You are a ranged unit, technically speaking, so that does make sense. And we have a Scroll of Shielding, which is actually of some use for now, so we will give this to you, Scroll of Shielding. There we go. Alright, to separate the blurb, we hit the Shrine of Khaine.
Attack!
Yeah.
No creature, mage, warrior, or beast can stand against the true elves.
Alright, I certainly hope so, because our army's at like half HP, and the enemy immediately pops up Shadows of Anlek to do about 40% damage to one of our High Elven archers, and clip a couple of ship's companies as well, who are now forced to back off, unfortunately. But it is what it is. We had to preserve the turn, and we're just going to have to wait and see if, if it goes well for us. Anyway, we're going to have the Noble attack the enemy shooting tower, which has lost about 2,500 of its HP, while the Phoenix actually peels away and moves towards the enemy archers. I keep wanting to say arrow boys. The Wake of Fire and dropping on 2 or 3 units of Dark Shards. And then pretty much obliterating them. Which works nicely, but admittedly we will now have no Wake of Fire to use upon any of the enemy's super elite infantry. Now they have those 2 units of Executioners and the Black Guard of Nagaron and the 2 units of Cold One Dread Knights, which are hanging back and waiting to attack us. Unfortunately for us, this means we will have to defeat them in melee, which is something of a dicey proposition. And oh wow, what the heck? So the Noble was here attacking the tower, but it looks like his attack animations actually carried him to this side, which is unfortunate because it's allowed the armor-piercing shades to do half of his HP and damage. Ouch. Well, either way, we bring down the tower, and then we speed it up because we're going to have to wait a little bit. Like the previous battle, we do want, or several previous battles, we do want our reinforcements to make their way forward, but as soon as Alistar arrived, I realized that he was quite severely beat up already, and perhaps not super viable to join the fray. Certainly if he got surrounded by Black Guard or something like that, he, well, they would not have a good time. Either way, here we go. Looks like the Black Guard of Nagaron will move forward, and we will meet them with our own elite halberdiers. It's a Black Guard versus the Keepers of the Flame, Phoenix Guard. And, oh, they decided that. Did they see their foes in turn? I doesn't really like the Black Guard, though. And there we go. Tyrion will lead the Phoenix Guard into the fray. Arrows, of course, raining down upon the enemy and our own troops alike, but fortunately the heavy armor of both of these troop types means that neither one is likely to be super damaged by our units. Tyrion, however, is getting focused down by the Dread Guard, and he is down to half HP, and in the meantime, Executioners and Cold One Dread Knights have closed the distance, and just as they do, I realize that perhaps we should have waited in terms of destroying the enemy Dark Shards, and perhaps the enemy infantry here as well. We moved our flyers, the Noble and the Flamespire Phoenix, to catch those shades at last and break the Bleak Swords that move to aid them. But it does mean we don't have spell work, and we don't have the ability to fight these guys without the Murderous Mastery. Now the Cold One Dread Knights are up to 178 weapon strength. They hit harder than many monstrous infantry, and there are 32 of them. They have a lethal poison, and I presume splash attacks as well. Tons of armor piercing. Basically, them and the Black Guard and the Executioners with the Murderous Mastery active is going to be devastating here. All we can do is hope to hold. Tyrion is now down to 40% of his HP. The banner of our elites flies, but so does that of the enemy. I wish this tree wasn't in the way. No, it's not the tree, it's a building. Okay, well, either way. Either way, we're just going to have to do our best and hold in this brawl. We're going to bump up the effectiveness of the Keepers of the Flame, as while there are other units fighting with and around them, like the Spears in the company of the Calendarian, I do expect the enemy will cut them down in short order, and it'll be up to Tyrion and the Keepers of the Flame to hold the enemy back. This is way too many tier 4 and 5s. Actually, the Black Guard are the only tier 4, I want to say? Actually, I don't remember. Argonath Executioners are tier 4, Cold One Dread Knights are tier 5, and Black Guard are also tier 4. Okay, yeah, so it's 3 tier 4s, 2 tier 5s. That's way too many compared to our 1 tier 5, and then everything else tier 1. Luckily, though, it looks like the enemy, we were able to hold them back long enough for the Murderous Mastery to run out. And it looks like the damage is starting to tell. On top of that, we pop off the Curse of the Midnight Wind. I really do wish that we had had it to counteract the enemy's Murderous Mastery, but unfortunately, we did not have the mana at the time as we cast it, or cast other things. And a Harmonic Convergence and Uranon's Thunderbolt. And the Cold One Dread Knights are still fighting. Frankly, these super elite units will most likely fight to near the last unit. We're going to try to help them out by rear charging with the Phoenix and the Noble astride the Great Eagle. And we did loop around this tower with our 2 additional units of ship's companies, and are about to win by the looks of it. The Cold One Dread Knights are out, arrows still coming down upon them. We can see that the company of the Calendarian went from full HP down to 15%, and same thing with those spears. Our 2 healthiest units that weren't our Phoenix Guard. But Tyrion is still in the midst of the fight. Ooh, and in fact he's reached his healing cap. And that armor regeneration really helped out in this particular battle. Also, Tyrion gets his quest items really late. Level 15, 20, and 25. But on the bright side, we'll have some nice quest battles when his army is a little bit stronger. It is struggling against the... it's going to struggle against any Dark Elven garrisons it runs into like this. Although, struggle or not, we do manage to take back the Shrine of Khaine. Surprising it's not a unique map, to be perfectly frank. This is not what I expect the Shrine of Khaine to look like. In fact, I know this is not what it looks like based on the lore, but anyway, I'm sure we'll get a blurb describing it as soon as we take it. Either way, with that, the Dark Elven garrison is defeated, and the battle yet again is ours. Well, they still have Toran-like, so we're still going to have to fight the Scourge of Khaine at least one more time. Ooh, there we go. Definitely a tough fight. Absolute heroics from Tyrion and the Keepers of the Flame, however, though Tyrion reached his healing cap and went down to like 20% of his HP, with the healing cap having been reached despite the Potion of Toughness and Regeneration and his stats. The Cold One Dread Knights and the Executioners and the Blackguard of Nagorond, absolutely monstrous, though I was very happy to see the Blackguard face off against the Phoenix Guard there. All told, the super elite nature of the 4 tier 5 units, 5 tier 5 units that the garrison had certainly made it a toughie, especially for the poor basic units. The Company of the Calendarian was, I believe, at full HP, and while they did damage somewhat the Executioners, and the Executioners unsurprisingly hacked them apart, but until we have our own Swords Masters to counter theirs, that's just going to happen if we run into Executioners. Anyway, some very nice work, both from the Phoenix and from our Noble, knocking out that tower, though the Noble actually got severely damaged by the tower in one of the Shades units. And more importantly, though, we take the Shrine of Khaine. There we go. And in theory, should we... We got the Warhind building here. Now, this is a red territory, meaning local recruitment duration is +2, but I'm collecting income, please. But if we wanted to, we... no garrison, eh? Only at tier 2, but yeah, we want the income from post-battle loot either way, and we'll have to build the watchtower here. Although perhaps we'll keep the White Lion building here for now, just to grab a couple of war lines and Great Eagles. They're a little bit expensive, and they will take a backseat to the Exalted units, but we should be able to get those on field reasonably quickly. Anyway, Shrine of Khaine captured. I guess we're spending the 2k then on upgrading the Abandoned Shrine of the Widowmaker. Like so, and then we'll see what you do. And also, did you lose your main territory? Nope, still 2. Looks like Silastra maybe went back to deal with the Beastmen problem. And I guess the Beastmen are a problem for everybody. Anyway, I do believe while we do have a blurb left, I think I'll leave it to the start of next episode regarding the Shrine of Khaine. And then we once again move to Toranlek to deal with the Dark Elves there.
Gladly.
And hopefully,
I bring Asuryan's fire.
some point we will resolve the frickin' situation with these idiots, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Either way, absolutely magnificent battles this time around, and ooh, maybe we'll unlock Caradrian next episode as well. Gotta have somebody leading the Phoenix Guard, especially as we will eventually have more of them. Anyway, for now, stay tuned for more Tyrion. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.
The greater good has triumphed.